Hey, what's up everybody? This is Blazing Ace Nelson, and today I'm bringing you a character walkthrough of Ieyasu Tokugawa in Sengoku Basara 3 Utage. Now, Ieyasu would seem like a basic starter character for most people getting into the game, or for anyone getting into Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes, for example. But, even with Ieyasu seeming like a starter character, the fact of the matter and the beauty of this game is that each character is so unique that picking a character goes hand in hand with picking a strategy for running through a stage. So let's go ahead and get started here. Pick a decent difficulty to showcase his moves and abilities. Now, as a character, Ieyasu is all about being deliberate with your attacks. I mean, you can go through it full speed and just mash everything out, and you can still get a decent effect, but his playstyle basically revolves around delaying and charging his attacks, so that way when you finally let those punches fly, they hit with the greatest amount of impact possible. I mean, to sum it up, Ieyasu is all about impact. I mean, let's break down his special arts and super arts real quick, starting with the specials. In Utage, every character has an attack where all you have to do is just hold down the regular attack button, which, you know, is default square, and, you know, you get some sort of special effect. With Ieyasu, you can actually delay his normal attacks so that all 8 of the attacks in his normal string can be charged for additional damage or additional hits. Now, all but one of his special arts have that same basic ability, where, you know, all 3 of them, if you charge them up, then you either get another attack, or you get a wider attack, or in the case of his direction and triangle, you can follow it up with another attack by hitting square after the first punch connects, and that follow-up you can actually delay and charge. But the black sheep of Ieyasu's move list is, of course, his L1 and triangle, Eastern Winds. This is one where as soon as you know that first punch connects, mash the square button like it's going out of style. You'll see presently, once I actually get this battle started and find a decent crowd of enemies to use this on. Much like, say, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, each character has a choice of up to 3 super arts that you could pick from as well. And, much like picking a character, choosing a super art for that character is also a vast majority of plotting out your strategy. Ieyasu's 3 super arts, Tokugawa Might, Hardhead, and Allegiance, are what you would expect from super arts. They're damaging, they're epic in scale, and they're good for particular situations. With Allegiance, as you can see from the picture, he takes Tadakatsu's drill spear and chucks it. When the spear lands, it digs into the ground, causing a whirlwind which sucks in opponents in the area. The longer you charge it, the higher the arc, and the more damage it does as it flies, as it drills, and as the whirlwind continues and sustains itself. Hardhead is a risky one because you have to be in close and you have to be able to make the grab. Also, the timing for follow-up attacks is pretty tricky, but it's still doable. My personal recommendation, though, is to go with Tokugawa Might. Sure, you have to charge it in order to get the full effect off of it, but if you just tap the button and let the attack go, it's pretty good as far as making some space for yourself. In any event, let's go ahead and get down to the actual battle itself so you can see Ieyasu in action, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about when I mention being able to delay his attacks and just, again, being deliberate with your actions. Alright, looks like everything's finally loaded up. So let's go ahead and get started with this run-through. Oh, also, one thing I forgot to mention. The personal items in this, as compared to Samurai Heroes, the heroic titles as it were, Ieyasu's heroic title has him keep his hoodie up. Let's go ahead and skip that. Ieyasu's heroic title basically has him keep the hood on his vest up over his head, and in doing so, it actually shortens the charge time. Now let's go ahead and charge that. Skip another cutscene. And let... Oh, dang it! Oh, okay, fine. Time to start mashing. Time to start mashing. Start mashing. Thank you. Now, as compared to Samurai Heroes, in Utage, Ieyasu's mobility has been greatly improved by the fact that you can, whatever attacks connect, you can actually dash cancel most of them, thus allowing you to extend your combos. And you see how, just coming out with the attacks in rapid succession, it still does a good amount of damage, but when you charge the attacks, the effect, the damage is greatly increased. Basically, the strategy you want to employ with Ieyasu is quite simple. If the opponent is in the middle of an attack, stop them. If they're blocking, break the block. If they get caught with any of your attacks, keep delaying and charging each and every single attack, leaving them in hit stun long enough for you to pull out the next one. Ieyasu in a nutshell. Use the impact of your blows to keep them in constant hit stun. The more you do, the easier it tends to get when you're actually trying to work towards some sort of crowd control. Now, of course, when you've actually got enemies hitting you from out of nowhere, it seems, and you don't have much time to really block anything, there's always, of course, this. Now, as soon as I get to a decent point in this stage, I'll show you guys a couple of useful tactics with Tokugawa Might. As this is the Battle of Hoseto, more than anything else in this particular stage, for those who play through this, you want to make sure you get that attack boat all the way up to the enemy base, so that way, your time constraints are removed. Excuse me. And since I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen now, let's go back to actually, fighting. Now, if you really want to be creative, you can actually mix up the timing on all of your attacks so that you can go from rapid fire combos in one instant to actually utilizing his charges and block breaks in the next. And with these guys with the shields, they don't stab you first. Now take note, even Ieyasu's aerial attacks can be charged as well. So, follow up with something like this. And you get a little bit of extra hang time on charging the attacks. So that way, you can stay above the fray and avoid most damage. Note, I said most damage, not all. In the meantime, let's see. Let's let the hornblower call some more troops on the screen. Now, one particular thing you might want to keep an eye out for is when Ieyasu does his Basara attack. As soon as it starts, as soon as he pops his knuckles, start holding triangle. You'll notice that you'll actually be charging his first special all the way through it, thus allowing you to let off those 2 extra shockwaves at the end. Good for clearing away crowds, and good for just dishing out general damage. And again, with Eastern Winds, mash it like it's going out of style. And watch the hit count. Well, watch the hit count and the bodies skyrocket. Oh, come on. There we go, that's strongholds down. Now, honestly, as soon as Ieyasu was reintroduced for Sengoku Basara 3, I just knew that this was a character I was going to want to try out. The fact that he actually, brings his fists to what would be considered a large-scale sword fight, yeah, you gotta respect that. Especially since he's the guy that pretty much beat the gorilla they call Hideyoshi from back in Sengoku Basara 2 and Heroes. I mean, overall, this is a character that just has the kind of style that I really like, and I'm always one for boxer characters and fist fighters anyway in these kinds of games. So he works. And he does work. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm, the greatest hack and slash gamer out there. I mean, there's still a lot to this game that I'm sure I haven't even scratched the surface on. Now, you want to really dig deep? There's a couple of videos that you really might want to check out. But let me go ahead and show you once again just how useful Tokugawa Might is as far as just being able to rack up damage and hits. Now, if you're actually in an active portion of the battlefield where enemies are trying to swarm you, a good thing you might want to do is to just tap the button so that way you get that first level and you get that pillar that knocks enemies away. While the enemies are being knocked away, you can immediately charge up the next one and go for any of the larger ones, if not the fully maxed energy pillar. One place I do have to say that Ieyasu really shines though is taking on bosses. Like this jerk Yoshiaki. Again, just going through, charging his moves, and there's all that hit stun that you're just heaping onto your opponent. And if you can keep him hemmed up in the corner, there's that. Oh, by the way, you can actually cancel from Eastern Winds into his advancing special art, and do follow-ups from there. And now I think I'm... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down there, homeboy. Or not. Yeah, settle down there, homeboy. A good character to start. Truly a beast. Once you get into the later levels, and of course, once you get his heroic title. Anyways, this will just about do it for the Ieyasu walkthrough. Shoutouts to all my subs and everybody that's watching. Shoutouts to Dark Masamune87, the guy whose videos have pretty much gotten me into this from the get-go. Well, once again, this is Blazing Ace Nelson.